Morning. Welcome to Thinking is Contagious. We are waiting now for the inauguration of the new President Biden, and I wanted to give you a little bit of my thoughts, my prediction. I'm going to play a little Nostradamus here and give you my predictions as to what I think is going to happen. Um, January 20th, obviously, we'll have the inauguration of President Biden. Uh, you know how I feel about this. Absolutely huge mistake. Uh, Absolutely will set back the country. Uh, Financially, this country will suffer tremendously under Biden, same way it suffered under Obama. Uh, the ones that will gain the most here will be corporate America. Um, the uber rich will become even richer. The economy of this country for the average working man will become stagnant. And you know this is not conjecture. Look at the history of Obama, the 8 years of Obama Biden administration, and then look what happened with Trump's administration. Um, the gains, I've mentioned this many times, and I'm not going to go into it again. The gains that minorities made under Trump are probably will never be replicated uh, in this country. So that's something that we've made our bed. We're going to have to sleep in it. And, you know, I looked at some of the statistics, and really the category that got Biden elected was the African American female in this country. And I don't understand uh, that logic. I don't understand that reasoning. And I think we're all going to end up paying for it uh, in the short term, because I think long term, uh, this country is will come to its senses. All we need is a couple of years of watching a replay of Obama, Biden, and I think that the midterms will go strong Republican. I think California will become Republican. I think New York will become Republican. I think that even even something like Illinois, it's not going to be as fast, but these states are realizing that Democratic leadership has gotten them nothing but debt, crime, and deterioration. Uh, so I think we're at the dawn of a new awakening, and I think that 2 years of this corrupt administration will be enough to tip the midterms, and then 4 years from now, I think that we're going to see a completely different mandate, and I don't know if it's going to be a Republican mandate. I think that there's going to be a very good shot for the first time in this country in 4 years, and this is probably where you're going to hear it one of the first times. I think there's going to be a great shot for an independent to be elected president of the United States in 4 years. So uh, that's what we have to look forward to. What I think is going to happen. Here's what I think is going to happen. The far left, the progressive part of the Democratic Party, um, the part that they had to hide. Let's face it, they had to hide it, and Joe Biden was the Trojan horse. We've spoken about this many times. Um, the Democrats knew they floated the Bernie idea, and they were hopped up about it. They were hopped up about it with Hillary when he ran against Hillary for the nomination in 16. But they quickly realized that socialism, the label of socialist, doesn't fly in the United States. So they had to bring socialism in under a veil of something else, and that's why you see this progressive label. It's less obtrusive and offensive than socialism, and they felt that they could float that through. They tried Bernie, and Bernie was actually should have been the nominee in 16, but they realized, hey, on a national level, socialism isn't going to work. 2020, they thought it was going to be a lost cause, uh, and until the pandemic uh, came along, I think they really felt it was going to be a lost cause, and they were offering up the sacrificial lamb in Biden. a guy who has no future due to just due to his age. Forget about his track record, which is deplorable and disgraceful, and nothing has happened. He's never done anything right. Well, not never. He's rarely done anything right. Uh, they figured, we'll burn this guy. We need to put a candidate up. We'll burn him, and then, boom, COVID came, and they took off on that, used it as a weapon, and they got this guy elected. And they said, you know what? If we do get him elected, we got to have a way out. And that way out is the investigation, the Biden investigation, the Hunter Biden investigation. And that's what's going to prove the key to get the progressives, the socialists into the White House, led by Kamala, the praying mantis Harris. I've told you what the story behind the praying mantis label is. Praying mantis, after the male and the female are done breeding, once the female is done using the male for the appointed task, she turns around and in the middle of the act actually starts eating him, devouring him, starting with the head, from the head down, and that's what you're going to see here. The left progressive, they plan all these Machiavellian things out very well. They took the virus. Collateral damage was insignificant. They were willing to shut down the economy. They were willing to destroy businesses, decades of work, lifelong family businesses. They were willing to destroy them, and they did. They did destroy them. They were willing to keep your kids uneducated, out of school. They did exactly that. They were willing to allow people to die. They did exactly that. They did whatever it took to get the mandate of 2016 of get Trump out, get the non-politician out, get the obvious roadblock to the feeding trough out, and that's what they did. So with all this in mind, now they see all of a sudden they got this gift of Biden. Biden's the president, but they say, you know what, we're not going to let this investigation into Hunter go away. This will continue, and Biden himself has said that it's not going to go away, that he's going to allow the Attorney General to do their investigations, and the ongoing investigations with the Justice Department and the IRS and whoever else is involved are not going to be interfered with. And I think this is, again, this is my theory. They left knows that Biden is implicated in this, that definitely Hunter, but that the Biden family is implicated in this China pay-for-play scheme, influence peddling. And they've told him, they said, Joe, we got, the goods are there, you're going to be found out, and here's the plan. You're going to be inaugurated, and within the first 2 years of your administration, probably within the first year, you are going to be unable to continue as President of the United States. And you will step aside, and for that stepping aside, for whatever excuse they use, health or whatever it may be, it's not going to be because of the investigation, but based on that stepping aside, we are going to take care of the investigation issue. It's not going to go away, but it will be diffused. Hunter's going to have to fall on the sword for the family, and we are going to have to clean up, give the appearance to the American people that we've cleaned up somewhat, and you will step down for reasons other than the investigation, but you are not going to fight this, because if not, we will be the first to fully expose the complete involvement. That's my theory. And many are going to say, oh, it's conspiracy theory. Maybe so. But in this country, with the political system that currently exists today, it's not far-fetched. And I'm talking about the political system that exists on both sides. Both sides are stench and corruption. And that's why Trump was always in the crosshairs of the Democrats and of the Republicans. Because, yeah, Trump is self-serving, egomaniac, and not squeaky clean. I'm not saying he doesn't have corruption in his business dealings, not politically, in his business dealings in the past. But his aim was to go down in history books, the legacy of the greatest president in the history of America. And in doing so, he lifted all Americans. So the politicians knew that in Trump they were going up against someone who had an objective, a goal, a target of something other than self um, gaining of power and fortune and fame. Uh, More so, someone who was trying to create a legacy. And these politicians have no interest in legacy at all, because nothing they do, if you study all these politicians historically, they receive accolades and applause and everything, but legacy, other than maybe a little bit of Jimmy Carter with his stuff with Habitat for Humanity and all that, try to think of any of these presidents who you have a legacy type of situation with. Um, Definitely not the Clintons. Definitely not the Kennedys. Definitely not the Bushes. What is there? What legacy? What benefit to humanity do these names carry? None. Definitely not Obama. I mean, please, that's self-serving. A guy who would have had trouble keeping his job as a lawyer probably anywhere gets into politics where he knows he can con his way with votes, and then he's got the crutch of if you don't vote for me, you're a racist. Uh, you put all that together, and you take a guy who probably would have been, a junior partner in a law firm at the age of 60, and becomes a billionaire. So, uh, that's in a nutshell what you have there. So, if you really think about it, think about these families, think about these presidents that we've had in the last 50 years, and try to think of someone that offers anything that is close to a legacy. You're not going to find any. Uh, Obviously, Trump has lost that he lost it on Wednesday. He just allowed his ego to take over, and he became infuriated and enraged and embarrassed and humiliated, and he just lashed out, and he destroyed a brand. But what we're facing right now, believe me, and those who think that they voted for something good here in Biden, it's a huge mistake. The day after on Thursday, after the destructive actions in the Capitol, on Wednesday, he came out with a speech that couldn't have been more divisive, couldn't have been more inflammatory, couldn't have been more enraging to the extremes of both sides, the left and the right, uh, just to grind, just to bring it more attention to the problem. This guy is bad news. This guy is incompetent. This guy is corrupt, and this guy is a mistake. I always label Obama the biggest mistake America made twice, because he was elected twice. This guy's a mistake. Huge mistake. Biden's a mistake. Kamala Harris, forget about it. Um, Disgraceful. Uh, Complete dishonesty. Disingenuine. Will say whatever it takes. She's very much like Obama to me. Will say whatever it takes to get her objectives. Self-serving, power-grabbing objectives. Fame and fortune objectives. That's all this is. So we face 2 years of uncertainty to some extent, but I think this is the bitter pill that needs to be swallowed for 2024 to bring us moving forward again. We got to take a step back to be able to move forward. Well, we've taken our step back. We're going to do our little correction in stock market terms right now by bringing this corruption into the White House for a while, and into Washington, Capitol Hill. But it will change, and we will see. We will see California. We will see New York. We will see some of these states that are getting slammed right now because of the last 50 years of Democratic leadership. Turn around and say, you know what, we want to go conservative. We want to go fiscally conservative. We want to go responsible. We want law and order. We want police. And we want a government that looks out for us. And that's where you're going to see the birth of a party, whatever that party may be. They may come out labeled independent. They may call themselves something else. But you're going to see that occur very quickly in this country. What is red and blue, left and right, Democrat, Republican, that's old school. New technology's coming, and we are going to have a political system that identifies with a theme rather than a label. And that's what this country needs as well. The labels that Americans have today, that people operate under the guise of fairness and understanding and political correctness, that's what's dividing us. And that's what gives jobs to the racists and the misogynists of this country, which are the people that most clamor that they're fighting those things. Those are the people that most embrace those things, because that's why they have a job. That's why they have a voice. That's why they have a platform. Make no mistake about it. There's nothing in this country. Someone sent my mom a message on Facebook saying that how we're going to enter into a new era now, where this country, for this country, the light, it's darkest before the light. The night is always darkest before the light. Well, guess what? This country's not dark. This country was never dark. This country is where everyone comes in the world when they need opportunity, when they want to better themselves, when they want to help their families, when they want to provide for their families, when they want to educate their families, when they want opportunity to achieve and for a better life. Guess where everyone comes to? Why do we need to build walls? Why do we need to have structures for immigration? Because everyone wants to come here. Who complains about this country? The people that are already here are the ones who complain about this country. Why? Because the ones that are complaining the most are the ones who have a sense of entitlement and feel they've been brainwashed by our leadership to feel that they're owed something, they're entitled something. And guess what that leads to? When you have that mindset, instead of saying I will achieve, I will pull myself up from my bootstraps, I will accept any setbacks that I have as my personal failures, I will learn from them, I will improve, and I will not repeat them, I will succeed, and I will be victorious. When that happens, guess what? You achieve. Now, when you say I have all these aspirations and they have not been achieved, and I am now going to hand over control of my life to the government, who's going to take care of me and protect me and give me these rights and give me these entitlements and give me these handouts, guess what you become? You become a slave. You become enslaved to that system. Guess who benefits? The slave master. Guess who the slave master is? The politician who's telling you, vote for me and I will give you the fish. You don't have to go out and fish. You will always have a fish from me. You're just going to have a fish. You're not going to have lobster. You're not going to have anything fancy. You'll have a fish, though. You won't have to worry about that. You're going to have a roof over your head, and you're going to have a fish every day. Vote for me. That's vote buying. Guess where those dollars come to buy those votes, to buy those fish, to provide that roof over your head? From the taxpayer. The very taxpayer that they're aiming their target at and saying, oh, we're going to go after the rich. They're going to have to pay more. Well, the top 10% of earners, wage earners in this country, pay 70% of the freight. So if you cut the legs out from the top 10%, if you start dipping deeper into their pocketbook, guess what they're going to do? They're going to cut from the bottom up. So this stuff about a minimum wage, $15 minimum wage, this stuff about increasing taxes on big corporations, all these things that the left talks about as a way to redistribute wealth, and that's all this is, a redistribution of wealth. It's just going to end up being on the tab of the lower socioeconomic people, because automation will be fast-tracked into the system. Just like technology was fast-tracked because of COVID, that the stuff that the distance stuff, the internet stuff, that no longer in-person stuff, the buying on the internet, fast-tracked. Well, guess what's going to be fast-tracked next when these $15 minimum wages are in place? Automation, robotics. The hamburger flipper is no longer going to be a person. It's going to be a machine. The machines already exist, okay? The robotics that are going to be used in manufacturing, they're there. Guess who's going to get cut? The bottom tier. guess who's going to get hurt the most? The minorities, the people with the lower education levels. Those are the ones that are going to suffer. The employer is saying, you know what used to be done by 5, now I only need 3 people to do it. And that's where I'm going to get the additional tax burden. That's where I'm going to get the minimum wage. This is what's going to happen. There's absolutely no doubt about it. They, the left, the socialists, the people who want to take over the means of production of this country know what the course need be in order to get that accomplished. And that's exactly what they're doing. And they duped America into voting for those who are saying, we're going to protect you, when what they are doing is protecting their livelihoods, their careers, and their businesses. There's no coincidence that Wall Street has reacted the way it's reacted to a Joe Biden presidency. And the reason that Wall Street has gone crazy is because they realize that these people that are coming into power are indiscriminately going to print money. They're going to give money to everyone and anybody who can walk and talk. They're going to kick the can down the road as far as paying it back. And they're going to flood the system with worthless dollars. Look at Bitcoin, what's happening. People desperate for some type of limited commodity that they feel will somehow hold value. And a lot of people are going to get burned with the Bitcoin thing. I'm not saying long term it's not a good idea, but a lot of pain's coming with Bitcoin because the swings in volatility are going to be 70, 80% swings in volatility. We're not there yet. So we are now going to pay the piper for a while. First, we're going to enjoy this upswing, and I'm telling you, be ready by 2021 if you're in the market. By the end of the second quarter, be ready to start making some mighty shifts in your portfolios. I think disruptive technology, investing in disruptive technology is the only safe bet in this country. It's not going to be without its volatility. I do believe that is going to be the only safe bet in this country because the disruptive basis of the technologies, the basic infrastructure that these technologies will provide is what is necessary to move forward in this country, regardless of who's in charge. That's where you invest. Not a financial advisor, not telling you to invest in anything, but if I was, and I am doing this 100%, but I'm telling you, if you've got a 3, 5, 10-year window for investing dollars that you don't need immediately, I highly recommend that you look into the ARK funds, the ETFs of disruptive technology, or something along those lines, and systematically invest in that. I think the technology that is coming down the pike is going to make many millionaires and billionaires in this country, and I think following that is a safe bet. The fads, investing in fads, I think is dangerous. It's momentum. You will be able to make some money if you're on top of it. You get in and out quickly. But long term, I think only disruptive technology is the only way that things are going to happen as far as long-term investing in this country. And I know I've gotten off a little bit of a tangent there on the financial things, but I'm trying to bring a little bit of everything to the table for you guys. Hopefully this helps. Love to hear more thoughts. Appreciate the uptick in subscribers. And have a good 2021. And I'll be back to you in a few days. Thank you.